Red Ray is reading them a merry dance. He's out in front and going to ease up at the wide to win it by about 6. Red Ray canters past the post, the easiest of winner from Muskets and Roses. Hollywood Jet behind that. They were then followed by Playing the Enemy. In behind them, Venture Var and Royal Knockout last to cross.
Well, there you are. 1 to 5 with the bookmakers. You could have got 3 to 10 and 1 to 3 with Interbet. The interesting thing about this horse is that I think he's the best horse around.
I think so. I haven't seen a horse like this in a long time. He absolutely doddled it, and I think this is as good as a horse I've seen. Reminds me of what a Winter won like this when he started his career. Top horse, this.
Top horse. We're going to give it a break, and we'll be back with Mike de Kock.
Well done, Jim. Right, welcome to Current Affairs, and we're going to be talking straight away to Michael de Kock. He's got, I think, 13 runners on the big night, contesting a lot of money. And are you there, Mike?
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, lovely. Thanks very much for taking time to sit and talk to Jimbo and I. And I see you've got from race 2 all the way through, so it's a busy night, Mike.
Yeah, very busy. You know, I suppose it's work for us, the office, while everyone else is enjoying themselves.
Now, just before I hand you over to Jimbo, let me ask you a question or two. All green light with the whole lot of them, all going well?
Yeah, all going well. Can't complain. I mean,
Mike, it's quite interesting. You pulled in your old mate Morwing to ride one. The Pikey's got a couple of rides.
Yeah, keeping everybody happy.
He even gave Delpesh one. I hear he left his saddles there.
Yeah, we've given him a bone. It's got a nice bit of meat on it,
right? Sorry to interrupt you, James. I think a lot of people are wondering how Igugu's coming on. She's had her 2 runs back. Are you pleased with her?
Yeah, definitely. She's a lot fitter than she was last time. Seems to have got the hormonal problems fairly under control. She's not cycling as she was when she ran last time. She was cycling. So, I think she definitely is here a big change in her.
Mike, the 2 that obviously stand out look to be Soft Falling Rain in Godolphin and Shay Shay in Alcaraz. Would those be your best 2 on the night?
I suppose so, James, yeah. She's unfortunately drawn 13 Soft Falling Rain, which is going to be very, very difficult to win from that draw. No horse, I think, at Maidan or in the Carnival has won after draw 11. They run 16 here over the mile, which is ridiculous. It's not safe, but anyway, so be it. So it's going to be tough for him, especially taking on older, hard knocking horses. They're not going to give an inch. Shay draws 11. I think drew 7 of 16, so he's down the middle virtually. Pretty. There's 1 or 2 others that have flown in, sprinters. Again, a competitive field. I think the horse that ran second to him last time, if you watched the replay, could have been a little closer. So, not straightforward, but, both of them very, very well, very happy.
Await the Dawn in the other big one.
Shima Classic.
The Shima. He looked like he's got to have some chance. Is there anything there that you're scared of?
Yeah, well, the Japanese filly, she's really good. I think she's rated like 126. St. Nicholas Abbey, I think he rates at about 124. So, 2 really tough nuts international campaigners. But, I mean, he's fit and well. They've got to travel.
Yeah.
He's drawn 11 out of 11, which I'm actually happy about. I didn't want him on the inside, so
can't
complain.
And just the big one on the night, the $10 million World Cup. You've got Treasure Beach in there. Did Igugu not get an invite? It's all about who gets an invite, isn't it?
Not really, James. She could have run there if she wanted to, but I mean, it was never on the cards for her to run there. I wasn't going to try on Peter at all. She was never in the race, really.
Horse like Little Mike, I see he's defected from the World Cup.
Yeah, I think he goes to the duty free, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
He's a horse that likes to lead, so at least there'll be a bit of speed on. I'm sure he'll run better than he did this night.
Mike, you got a very good record in the UAE Derby. I see you've gone with the fairer sex.
I didn't hear you there, lad.
Sorry, I say you got a very good record.
I heard you saying something about having sex, or was it the fairest?
Having sex. No, I wouldn't know much about that, you know. But the UAE Derby, you've got a couple of horses in there. You've got a good record in this race, Mike. What do you think?
I think Zahi's improved quite a bit. He was well beaten last time. But, he turned the form on all the horses he had been racing with, except obviously, the Blue Relay team arrived with another one. So, it's going to be hard to beat that horse again. But, I think this horse has improved. I think he might just lack the class to win it. But he has a bit of luck in running, and if they fluff their lines, he's going to be all over it.
The other horse that I was interested in was Star Empire in the Gold Cup. You've always had the opinion that he'll get the triple. He never showed it here. And looks like he had a perfect prep for a race like that.
He's had a good prep, James. He's rated 106. He's going to have to run above that rating. He ran to that rating last time. It's another 400 meters. Again, another horse I think is an honest performer, but I'm doubting his class, to come and win a race like this.
Okay, the big one, Treasure Beach. We don't know much about him.
Very smart horse. Group 1 winner, ran second in the Derby. You would have seen him when he got beaten by Famwa a couple of years ago. Very smart horse. He's had a few issues. We've got him out the wheelchair now. He's just on crutches, so he's having so he's going well. It might just come a couple of weeks too early for him, but he's a really smart horse. Very capable of winning a race like this, and has improved on his last run. So I'm expecting a big one, but as I say, it's just possibly things just happening too soon for him.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, I hear that a couple of those golfing guys that you've been playing against sent you home last week for a little rest because they said that they haven't got money to pay you on the golf course. They thought you should come home.
Well, James, is pikies and jockeys. I mean, they are the tightest you've ever seen in your life. They hate partying with a pound. But we gave them a rest. Back into their ribs again in the next day or so.
Yeah, I heard it's been as good a year as you've ever had in Dubai, but from all sides. So
I had a little pigeon here, Gerard. He was just costly for him.
Yeah, well, you gave him a few rides. He had to pay his fees. It's a redistribution, isn't it?
I think he showed a loss, I must be honest. Anyway, well, in Mauritius, that'll help him.
Mike, you have a fantastic World Cup evening. We hope it all falls into place. And as you know, the whole of South Africa is with you from Laf and I. Enjoy, and we hope it goes well. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers, thanks, Goodman.
Right, Mike the Cock on the line.
Yeah, just while we're talking about his horses, it's nice to hear him talking about those horses. He's got a soft falling rein who's unbeaten, but the draw does sound like it's going to be a horse that's going to have to go up there over a mile.
Yeah, I think that he's just such a good horse. But as you say, he's meets his toughest task. He's up against older horses. It's very interesting speaking to Mike. You read his website. That's very informative. But the way he talks, he gives you a very good insight into what he's actually feeling, because he's probably one of the most honest people I've ever met, and he just tells it like it is.
Yeah.
He tells you that he's giving the pikeys a good hiding. He says Gerodis has lost money since he's been there, and
it wouldn't surprise, I think, any person back home watching on the big night as if Igugu bounced back to her best. It wouldn't surprise anybody.
I just think it's going to be. I think it's going to be the most fascinating and enjoyable nights racing we've ever had for the Dubai World Cup. I envy you going over there, and I think that you guys will have the time of your life. You're in the best posse, and you get the whole build-up as well. But for us sitting here on television and watching it on TV, it's a very close second. As long as they do, they allow the show to run.
Yes.
Allow us to get the UAE interviews, the people, the wherever they get it from, the picture. You don't want to be going to Philadelphia Park and Monmouth and this and that and the other, and ruining a great evening's racing. And that's the only advice I can give to them. You have an evening like this where we have 13 runners from Mike the Cock, You've got to give it the fullest
right.
coverage.
And it would be remiss for us not to touch on the Apache. He's
Yeah.
KZN bred, and he's done beautifully well there, and he's always a threat.
I think fantastic. And, you know, of any of the horses that I'd like to see win, I'd like to see Shay and the Apache win. Those are the two. Because
National Emblem and Magog, fantastic.
Yeah, and well, you know, you can also go Soft Falling Rain, South African bred
That's
as
right.
well. You know, Star Empire.
Yeah,
there's a whole lot of them. More than half these horses that he's got running on the night
There's
come
a good
from
few,
here.
good few breeders going over this year. People attached to yards and breeders, and I'm pleased to see that.
Good.
And while we're on that vein, James, we've had the Cape have had their book 2. The Cape Premier Sales have had their book 2, and a huge success, James. 24% up, showing that the market is there. It was a wonderful spread right across the board. I had a chat to John Costa and I asked him about the figures and asked him the feeling amongst the breeders. And he said even the small breeders, supposedly, and the bigger breeders, everyone's very, very happy. I spoke to, I heard Philip Kahn said he had a great sale, Arkansas, Rose Dean. These guys and the Jolliffe, they sold one for 425,000. Fantastic,
yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Good
So
horse people, the Jolliffes.
they are wonderful horse people. If one brings your mind back to, what was the name? Epitombi.
Yeah.
But just to give you the figures, 27 million turned over there. Fantastic sale down in Cape Town. Well run. Averaging 107,000. The highest was 575, a trippy that Drockenstein, I think his agent, put out. And Mark Bass, Walter, struck.
That's
Well,
him.
that's
Walter's he's a silent assassin, as they call it. I said to his young assistant, young Fade Herb, yesterday, when is he coming to Durban? He says he's not very happy about coming to Durban.
Do you think it's the running or the racing or the golf?
I think it's a culmination of things. You know, he's starting to live up to his name. It's very unfortunate. But let's move on. You know, hopefully he gets here in time to have a game of golf or two.
Yeah.
Because the cock talks about being on crutches. Walter's wheelchair bound.
I spoke to Walter. Walter was in fine form down there.
Was he in fine
Yeah,
form?
he was in fine form.
Well, that's great. I hope that his mood improves. Let's go and have a look and just talk about, while we're talking about sales, the big sales now move on to the Thoroughbred Breeders
Yes.
sales.
The national sale.
Yeah, the TBA sales up at Nationals, and you can get the catalogue online. You just go to www.tba.co.za, and that sale should be fantastic as well. Now, next week we'll have Tom Callahan on the show, so we'll be chatting to him all about the sale and whatever.
Excellent.
So interesting. Talking about breeding, Eliza Park, which is one of the biggest farms in Australia, goes up for sale at the moment. I think they're taking offers or whatever. Inglis is handling it, and they've got the sire of
Black Caviar, Bellisbury. That's right. That's right, in Eliza Park. But James, we've got a race to show the public. There was a Group 3.
Yeah, let's move on to that. Here in South Africa, we had the Group 3 King's Cup. It was cut down a little because it was meant to be running last week, and we'll be talking more about that in our emails. But let's go and have a look at it.
At the 1,000, he always sets the standard. He's there by 2. From Top Mark, who races second, and Penhaligon's a neck away third. Black as scraping paint, only a neck in front of Inner Rush. Premium Woods on a good rein and 5 lengths off the leaders, eyeballed by Orbit War. Then the grey Paseo's 2 lengths back and waiting, and fourth estate, Roman Wall winds up this field, gonna hook around them. Homeward bound in the King's Cup with just on 500 to go, and Always L there a length and a half. Top Mark moves through up the inside. Penhaligon's the grey in a rush to the stand side. Top Mark running the race of his life as they come to the 300-metre marker. On the outside, Penhaligon looks to apply the pressure. Always L. Paseo's getting going. Top Mark by a half a length. Always L. The grey Paseo's now in full cry, and Roman Wall's coming home hard. But Paseo swept on by up the inside, and Paseo goes on to win it. Back in second, Penhaligon. I fancy Top Mark did enough for third. Roman Wall behind these runners.
Yeah, flags up for the grey horses. Well done to Go Deputy Son Pessoa. And
Pessoa is his name. Now, you know who he's named after?
no.
The greatest two show jumpers in the world, father and son, last generation and this generation, were Nelson Pessoa, Brazilian, and Rodrigo Pessoa, who's his son, who's now one of the greatest show jumpers in the world of this age. My age was Nelson Pessoa. So that's who it's named after, and they name a saddle after
So it's
him.
pronounced Pessoa.
Pessoa, yeah,
Yeah,
not
so-
Paseo.
You're not Pessoa, Pessoa.
Pessoa.
And yeah, well done to